Hello, 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 and welcome to the village. Hey, Arnice. Hi, Coach Williams.
Hey, Dr. Ross.
It feels weird that you're not sitting right beside me, but
I
hey.
know. I can see you. I can reach you.
Listen, thanks everyone for tuning in to another Village Live. We're
Woo!
all about encouraging, inspiring, and motivating teacher leaders. So thank you for joining us. We're always talking about teacher leadership, right? And we
Always.
want to inspire you guys and get you motivated, especially when it comes to building a collaborative school culture. Again, we have a book coming out, Set Your Team on Fire, the three elements of a professional learning community. We'll put it on the screen in just a second so that you can see it. But we're very excited about it. And we also have a course that goes along with the book. So we've been
Big things.
talking about, oh, there it is. Isn't it beautiful?
I like it.
Yeah. So set your team on fire, the three elements of a professional learning community. We're talking about basically building a collaborative school culture. We want to make sure all of our schools are on fire.
Mm.
Okay. So those of you who have been joining us, you know that we love Principal Kofele, Create and Educate, Unlock the Middle, and Sean Hurt. That's right, the Fantastic Four who do TV throughout the week, every week on Saturdays. Unlock the Middle is on Sundays and throughout the week. We are a super fan of the Fantastic Four.
Woo!
So today we are joined by one of our famous Fantastic Four members, Josh Tovar, who is here in the village. He supports the village
All the
all the
time.
time. And he's always giving us advice and tips and great nuggets. But guess what? He's here today. So welcome to the main stage, Josh.
Right.
I'm here. I'm part of the Marion family. Fantastic Four in the house. I love it. Hey,
I
everybody.
love the energy.
Josh
Yes.
Tovar, principal of Memorial Pathway Academy in Garland ISD, Garland, USA. Here now, part of the village, part of the Fantastic Four. Very excited, and I love this theme because you know what? It's all about unity and teamwork. As we're flying the building, I mean the airplane, and we're still building it in the air. You know what? The only thing that's going to help us is coming together. And how do we
Yes.
do that? My suggestion, my 2 cents is this. You know what? We're not in the science business. We're not in the history business. We're not in the math business. We're in the people business. And you know what? Kids and adults don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's where it starts by being in the people relationship business. That's
Yeah,
how we're going to be stronger together and move this bird along.
I like that.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I told y'all this is that's why he's part of the
I was
Fantastic
about to
Four.
say.
Listen, so I want to just start off by saying, when we talk about building a collaborative school culture, you hit the nail on the head. We're building relationships, and we got to make sure that we take care of the people, of our staff, of our teachers, our parents, our students. So we want to make sure that when people come into the schools, that they feel it, right? That they feel that
Yeah.
we care. But Josh, I want to hear from you. How do you let your team know that you care for them and you're building this positive school culture? How do you let them know? I know it's so much that you do, but I just want to hear from you. What are some things as a principal that you do to make sure that you're building this positive energy in your building?
Mm.
To me, it comes down to one thing that they feel comfortable reaching out to me. There's so many people that sit in our chair, Dr. Roz, coach, that put their secretaries in front of them and they say that they're open door policy, but hey, try to get past the secretary. You ain't getting past her.
Yeah.
So it's very important that if you really mean it, you work it and you say it because, like Principal Cafele says, you can't fake the funk or your nose will grow. So if you
Mm.
do say that you're an open door policy, then that means, you know what? You stop what you're doing, you make eye contact with the people, and you talk to them about whatever. It might be little, it might be large, but you give them their time. If they text you at 8 p.m. at night, that's open door policy. But that's
Mm.
my time. You know what? Deal with it now or deal with it tomorrow when it really builds up.
That's true.
So make sure that you answer and you provide that opportunity. And whenever your team members really have something that's important in their life, kid recital, basketball player, their child is in the basketball team and they need to travel. Their parent is sick. You know what? You know what you say? Family first. You
Right.
go take care
Love
of
it.
you go take care of your family. We'll take care of the house here because it
Yep.
will be here as a strong united team. So number one is making sure that they feel supported by you with an open door policy. That means 24/7. I'm sorry,
Love
I
it.
believe in that. And number two is making sure that they feel that you got their backs, especially when it comes down to family situations. Because if we want to expect 100% from them, we got to make sure that they're safe up here. And they don't have to worry
Right.
about an ill mom, an ill baby.
Right, right.
You
I
can't
love
come
it.
into work focused when you have all those outside things. And the biggest thing I heard is you have that sense of family already there, built into your school. That's how you align yourself with your team, and you really motivate them to work when they see that you're willing to really give your all and give your time. They're going to reciprocate that on their end. I love it.
Love it. So today we also want to talk about when you talk about building a collaborative team culture, we want to talk about that professional learning community because that's what we're focusing on is making
Right.
sure that we have our PLC set up and structured the right way. Well, within our book, we talk about matching our talents with our tasks. And one of the things as leaders that we need to do is, first of all, identifying our strengths as leaders and then also identifying the strengths of our team members. Because we want to make sure that we're being intentional about our work, making
Mhm.
sure that we are leveraging our strengths as a leader so that we can get the work done. Too often we kind of focus on our weak areas. We want to also make sure we focus on our strengths. So one of my strengths that I have is that I'm an arranger. Also, I'm an includer and have that skill of strength of being a woo, meaning I win over others. So I can get buy-in from teachers and from parents and different stakeholders. So I use those strengths within my work. So as I'm leading in my school, then I utilize my strengths. I want to hear from you, Josh. Josh, how important is it for leaders to leverage their strengths in this work? And I want to hear about some of your strengths too, Josh.
You know what? It's very I'm starting my 31st year. I'm an old guy. Okay. So
But you look like you're 31.
I'm 31 years in the profession, and you know what I've learned? I've been from elementary, and I've taught at the university level courses. The longer I'm in this field, the more I don't know. That's what I find out, and
Mm,
it's crucial that the older that I get, I understand that, and I tell my team members around me, you know what? I have no idea. Let me call somebody. I can't fake the funk, and I tell them, hey, I'm a caveman. Let me learn. I want to learn with you at the same time because everything's different. When I was supporting a 6A high school in Texas with 2,550 kids, to right now the current campus with 250 kids, it's a total different mind shift. It's a total way of different seeing life, totally different. And so it's very important. Number two, that I surround myself with smarter people. I have an awesome assistant principal who's a whiz at computer stuff. I still use an abacus and I still use the protractor and I still use the pad. Hey, it's gotten me this far without any
It
trouble.
works.
right.
It works.
It works.
I'm not giving up. I'm too old now. But you know what? I surround myself with people that know that ability. And my job is number three to make sure I'm not a micromanager. It doesn't matter if it's
Mm,
during campus or if it's that big school that I told you about. You cannot micromanage because then you will die. That chair that we sit in, if you're an administrator out there, just understand that the chair you sit in sucks your spirit because you're dealing with people from above, people from below, from the community. Everyone's always yanking at you. And you got to make sure you keep your strength, always focus on safety and student success. And how do you do that? By making sure that you don't micromanage. You have smarter people around you that can talk to you, you listen to them, and most importantly, that when you don't know something, you say, hey, I don't know. Let's learn about this together, and we're adhering to policies and procedures from our district. Because the second we fall off the policies and procedures is the second that we get everyone in trouble. And that's what a wise leader does, is you don't get everyone in trouble. You keep everyone safe.
Awesome.
I like
So
that.
that's so good. Hey Tammy, one of the teachers in my building. Thank you, one of the teacher leaders at my school. So one of the things, one of the things that we want to make sure of, again, I love what you're saying, Josh. You know how to, spread the wealth and get that buy-in from your team, and making sure that everyone feels valued, that that they're included. And I think that's something that leaders sometimes, kind of ignore. Like you said, you can't do everything yourself, and you can't know everything. So that's one of your strengths as a leader, is to recognize the strength in others. And that is so critical. So I want to talk to the teacher leaders out there. If you have a team that you're leading, that's something that you, as a leader in the building, you need to do, is recognize the strengths of your teammates, so that you guys can work collaboratively. And Coach Williams, you do a great job of that as well. Can you talk a little bit about how, when you're working in your team and you recognize, hey, this is someone's strength, and we can utilize that to get the work done?
So I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different styles, right? And so when you're meeting people for the first time, you know how you kind of hang back and let them kind of introduce themselves. Um, I have some very strong personalities, and I think about when I was in the classroom, those students who had those very strong personalities, you wanted to go ahead and draw them in. And I noticed that the person who has the biggest mouth or the biggest influence, I try to get them in first to see, one, what are their complaints? What are their concerns? Really trying to tap into some of the things, because there are valid concerns. And once you win that person over, you got it, right? So, for example, I'm not going to, put any names for, I don't want to be canceled. But anyways, I had a teacher who just did not like the pacing. They hated it. I was like, okay, well, we got to teach the kids. So let's work together and let's create a pacing that, one, appeases our curriculum, right? But also makes sense to serve our students. And it was like, well, are we going to get in trouble? Well, what is our first mission? Our first mission are these students, right? And when I said that, they were like, wait, what? Yeah, I'll take the hit, because we are aligning ourselves to this, what our students need, and we're going to help them be successful. And so once they saw that, it was easy, y'all. It was easy money, like kids say. But yeah, just really tapping in. And like you said, Josh, listening. You have to listen. You have to.
If I could piggyback off on that, Coach, is that it's important that someone that sits in our chair, your job is to take bullets. Your job is to make sure you take bullets. And when people, and you know when it's the best time? When you take bullets and they don't know you took bullets for them. It's not your job to throw it in their face the next time they screw up. It's your job to take the bullets, because you know what? You chose leadership, as Principal Caffelli says. And you have to be on fire. And most importantly, like I said, protect everybody that's in your sphere of influence. And you know what? When you sit in our chair, you sit in any kind of leadership chair, you have to take bullets for each other. And you got to make sure that everyone feels supported, not only emotionally, but within the classroom, with classroom discipline, with grading policies. As long as we're doing everything that's in the policies and procedures of the district, then I got you all the way. And if you do fall off, we're all human. No one is flawless. You know what? After we're done with that, we'll have a conversation together and we'll say, this is how we're not going to do it again. And I believe in having awkward conversations. I believe in stepping up. Right. When it's time for me to jump in, I'm going to jump in and tell you in a professional way, that was wrong. That was bad. And let's not have this conversation again, because then
in a professional way, I like that.
Then it's going to happen a different way. But right now, we're all human. There was only one perfect person, and he was taken from us 2,000 years ago. And so we all make mistakes, and it's okay. It's the problem about repeating it over and over in a bad pattern of behavior.
And I feel like I'm telling a lot of stories, but We talked about, everybody knows, it's not a secret. We have a teacher shortage, right? And so some of our teachers are taking on extra duties. Some of our teacher leaders are taking on extra duties. So a teacher, a very concerned teacher, came at me. And they were very passionate, let's say, to the point where I could not get a word in. And I knew that this person needed to vent, but I also heard the issues. So I just had to tell them to stop. Now, old Coach Williams, before I was Coach Williams, right? Would have met their intensity with the same type, but that would have solved nothing, right? So I just had to say, please stop. Stop talking. You're upset. Let's calm down. I'm gonna come to you in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm not leaving you, but we have to stop this conversation because right now you're so worked up. Recognizing that that person wasn't in the same headspace and they couldn't talk and verbalize what they needed, but still recognizing they needed some assistance. Sometimes as leaders, we kind of wear our feelings on our sleeve, right? But like you said, we have to be willing to take those bullets, and they might be coming from our team sometimes too. But like you said, we're all human, so we're in this together.
I love it.
They stopped yelling at me though. They did.
But one of the things that Tammy said in the comments is about building a sense of community. That person felt safe coming to you. And obviously they recognized something in you where they felt comfortable to come and share their issues and concerns. So that means that you have created an environment that is okay to come to you, right, as a leader in the building. And they didn't feel as though that you was going to take that and use it in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? So we have to build this sense of community in our schools. We want people to work together, to lean on one another. And again, we do that by building these safe places where teachers and everyone can take risk and feel supported. So I like what you're saying. Another thing that I love to do is recognizing future leaders in the building and see their strengths, because that's something that Josh talked about, is surrounding yourself by smart people. Well, even our new teachers come with us with great skill set. They're young, they have energy. Let's use that. Let's leverage their passion and their energy and their youth, right? They know technology. So let's use that and leverage it for our work. So Josh, I want you to talk about that. People sometimes complain, oh, the teachers who are millennials, oh, these 20 somethings, they want to complain about, different teachers, but how do you seek out, future leaders and pour into them? Because again, we need them. We need them to love this profession and stay. So how do you leverage their strengths when others may say, these young teachers, they get on my nerves?
You know what? I've had the pleasure of making sure that I project what my feelings are to people. They know that I'm honest with them. So that will give you some street cred. When they know that you're consistent with your honesty, you bring street cred. The 31 years that I have in the system also brings me street cred. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So that all combined with my honesty and my bluntness in a professional, loving way, and what I bring to the table with being, I think, at 14, 15 schools that I've been in 31 years,
Wow.
It's one of those things to where I can talk to them and say, this is what I see in you. But then I need to role model those expectations. So if I say, I believe that we should do this for kids, and I don't role model it, then people are going to say he's being a phony. He expects us to do it, but he doesn't do it. We all need to be at the PD, but I don't show up to the PD. Then I have no street cred. So everything that I say, this is my vision, I need to role model it by always being part of what my vision is. And once they see those three things, that you walk the walk, that you bring to the table your years of experience, and that you're honest, that you're not hiding an ace under your sleeve, then people will listen and they'll say, hey, this guy is bringing some knowledge and he thinks I have something. The woman that saw that in me was Miss Millie Williams. I come from El Paso, Texas, where it's all Mexicans, all right? There was an African American lady who saw something in me, and she kept pushing me and pushing me to be an administrator. She would bring me catalogs from the university she would attend, and she'd tell me, Coach, I expect you to sign up, Coach. Coach, I expect you to be here. Coach, I'm going to help you be an administrator. And you know what? She changed the master schedule for me. She allowed me, once I made that commitment, and she saw something in me that I never saw. So I really believe that someone that sits in my chair, assistant principals, your number 2 job is what? To create future principals. It's your job, because then you truly leave a legacy. Like my current superintendent, Dr. Rick Lopez, says always, the best gift you could give any campus is an awesome principal.
Wow. Awesome. Awesome.
I like that. That gave me chills.
That's good. Look what she created. Look what she started.
Right.
31 years later. You're part of the Fantastic Four. Exactly. So, I just love it. And Dr. Houston is in the building, creating Educate on Saturdays. Y'all got to tune in. That Fantastic Four. So I want you to really dig into that, because that's something that is so important, that you're talking about, being able to recognize the strengths in others. And sometimes people don't even notice it. They don't even know their own strengths and what they bring to the table, right? You didn't even know. You just thought, I'm just being, Josh, doing my little thing. The same thing with me. I was teaching 4th and 5th grade, doing my little thing. And I really didn't think outside of my classroom until someone pushed me into teacher leadership. Same thing with Coach Williams. She's trying to be quiet.
I'm trying to be quiet because the person who pushed me is on the live with us. Pushed me so hard. Yeah,
exactly.
So almost broke my neck.
Yes, because some people need that push, and that is something that you have to do as a leader, even as a teacher leader. Look on within your team to see who's quiet, who's sitting in the back, who's not participating, and figure out what are their strengths, what are the things that they're passionate about, and let's bring it to the forefront within the team. Because again, if people don't feel a part of the community, they're going to check out. And our teacher shortage problem is going to get worse. So we want people to be a part of our community so that they can stay, especially within our schools. When you have schools that have, a problem with turnover every year, it's because people aren't invested. They don't feel a part of the community. So let's make sure we tap in to all of the members of our team and figure out what can they bring to the team. Don't ask them and say, you can ask them. But if they just say, well, I don't know, then just observe. And I think, again, something that Coach Williams and I do, as a coach, you go and observe. And you see some of the great things that teachers are doing. And then when you have meetings, you highlight it. And say, oh, I was in this teacher's classroom, and this was an amazing thing. I'm an assistant principal now, Josh. So one of the things that I do, is highlight it during staff meetings. I had teachers present at the staff meetings some of the awesome things that I've seen them do in the classroom. So that's what we have to do as leaders within our school, is really find the skill set and the strengths of our teachers so that they can continue that. All right. And that will build that sense of community where everyone feels valued and appreciated, and they're on fire. All right. So, Josh, that is something that Principal Confele talks about all the time, being on fire. You talk about it. All of the members of the Fantastic Four talk about it. And Coach Williams and I have a whole book, Set Your Team on Fire. What does that mean, on fire?
On fire, for me, it means accentuating the positive, whatever the positive at that moment. Like I stated at the very beginning, we are in the people business, and we need to always make sure that we show and highlight the runners. As in Ron Clark's book, Move Your Bus, and also Todd Whitaker. And also Todd Whitaker always says, your job is that everyone emulates your best teacher and their practices. That's what you need to have on a campus to make sure that your kids have the best home. I don't call it a school. I call it a home if you do it right. And we do that by always accentuating the positive of kids and the positive of our team members in the classroom. And by doing that, always. And you know what? Don't get caught up with the haters. There's always haters. There's always there's always haters that go below the line and they want to be recognized like runners. It don't work that way. I'm sorry, it
Mm.
doesn't work that way. And it's your job to always say, this is the vision for this campus. This is what student success looks like. This is what teacher pedagogy A stands for. And you know what? If one person gets it a little bit more than others, oh well, you know why? Because they're runners. They run for success. And what is that? That's fire. And it's our job as administrators to always promote the fire that's going in within the body of the campus. And that way, you know what? Every kid is covered. If everyone looks like the best teacher, then you know what your campus will be? An A campus in spirit and academically.
Wow. So that's the fire. Y'all
I
heard
was
it
going,
here.
I can't even add anything. What he said.
What he said. That's the
What he
fire.
said.
So
the
that's
fire.
what we need to do. We need to look in our team members, find the fire and
Find it.
promote it, highlight it. And we want
Spread it.
everyone to model that. So that is brilliant. That's awesome. Coach Williams, again, we're talking about module 2, optimal impact. Because again, it's about making sure that we're doing all that we can for our for our students. And optimal impact, meaning that we're focused on two things. Number one, student achievement, and number two, teacher practice. If those two things are not your focus, then I don't know what you're doing. So again, and I think, was it Sean Hurt who mentioned that you should see your focus when you walk in the building. You should see it on the walls. So if I walk in a school, and I think Sean Hurt mentioned, if he sees a lot of trophies, that means that that's a school that's focused on sports. So you want to make sure that your focus is on student achievement and teacher practice, because we can't impact our student achievement if we're not also focusing on our teacher practice, right? So again, we want to make sure that within our teams that we're focusing on those two things. And it's a lot of work that has to be done, but you have to make sure that you're leveraging the strengths of your team members to get the work done. We don't want our leaders to be burned out. Okay, we don't want that. Don't try to do everything. You can't do it. You can't do it. We have to work collaboratively. So, Josh, I want you to, speak on this, and then we're gonna wrap up in a second. But speak on again, how do we make sure that we are being intentional about our work? Okay, we have so much to do. All right. The list is long. But again, we want to have a laser focus on teacher practice and student achievement. So help us. How do we make sure that we are being intentional as leaders?
The number one thing is to be able to connect with kids. You see, you could be the best person out there with the best lesson, but if you have no classroom management, all that is for naught. They're not learning, they're not picking anything up, and they start acting silly, nonsense. Then the teacher gets frustrated. Then you send the kid to the office. The office might be dealing with some situation from other classroom, and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's where toxicity comes in. So the person that sits in my chair, the assistant principal chair, needs to make sure that we promote the message of unity and treating everyone with respect, starting with our students. Because if we spend more time on discipline issues, we're not focusing on what's crucial. What's crucial? I'm sorry, those state tests are crucial. They're important. They're going to make and break a kid for graduating. And you know what our graduation rate is right now at the high school level. And it all starts from elementary. The journey that ends their senior year starts in elementary. And it's how we bond with those kids. Because I don't know about you guys, but since the Lord has allowed me to be at all levels, I see the kids start becoming discipline issues like in 3rd and 4th grade.
Oh, yeah.
And then from there, then they start going that wrong turn. Oh, then they hit that middle school. Oh, my Lord. And then they hit their freshman year in high school. Oh, my Lord. And before it's kind of hard to get them back. So the very first thing is to be intentional by making sure that the kids feel appreciated and loved at a school. I've been in schools where people don't like the kids and kids don't like the teachers, and their report card speaks volumes for there. Number two, if you're able to control that issue, is academics. You know what? the most important thing is planning for your lesson. And that's where your PLC 4 questions come in. That you need to know how to use your time. If you finish too early the lesson, you know what's going to happen? Discipline issues. If you are too boring and you're the sage on the stage, guess what's going to happen? They're going to take out their cell phones, or they're going to start shoving each other with the backpacks and being silly. So it's very important that as administrators, we provide our team members call-in subs, if we have any, so that they could plan out their lessons. That's what Solution Tree tells us, to take out days to analyze and break down your TEKS or curriculum in Texas and plan it out for a 3-6 weeks period. That way, when you go in there, you're facilitating both SEL, loving the lesson, but also bell-to-bell instruction. And that's how you avoid the discipline issue. Because you know what? Who wants to be in a class? Dr. Ross, here, give me an amen. Coach, give me an amen. Have we not gone to central office where they train us to engage kids, but they're boring and talking to us?
The time.
Always. So you're telling me to tell our team members to be engaging, but you're boring me for 4 hours with a PowerPoint and you're reading it to me? Oh, please. So it's very important. Those two things go hand in hand. It's just my experience. That's what allowed us, with our beautiful family in the old campus that I was at, we went from a D- to a B- in 3 years. We raised the graduation rate from 81% to 89% in 3 years. And you know what? That's because they started bonding as a family. And after that, then we started getting deep and dirty with Solution Tree, with the 4 PLC questions, and always addressing what didn't they know. And the most important one is this one: what do we do if they do get it? Because if you got kids that's 10, let's say 10 kids, and 7 of them get it, you're not going to slow down the class for 3. What are you going to do for those 7 that already get it? That's educational malpractice, that you're not using all your time effectively. So if you love the kids, they'll walk on fire for you. If you plan correctly, you just got yourself an A campus once you break down the data of your scores.
Woo, that's some good stuff right there.
Educational malpractice. Now I done heard it all.
Right.
Like I tell people, call me a liar.
Yeah.
Please tell me where I'm lying.
You're not
No
at all.
argument here.
Right. That's good stuff. Good stuff. So again, guys, we're talking with one of the members of the Fantastic Four, Josh Tovar. Listen, I'm so excited. Again, we're making sure that your schools are set up as a PLC, that you have a collaborative culture where you are leveraging your strengths and leveraging the strengths of your team members so that you guys can have optimal impact. We want to make sure that you're laser focused on your work, right? And that you're seeing the strengths in others so that you can get the work done. And Josh, he already told you what we need to focus on. Okay. Those are the things that we need to focus on. And we need to be intentional about our work. We want to be on fire for our work. So look, Josh, I'm already a fan. So you don't have to tell me how to find you. I follow you on everything. But tell the people, just in case, I don't know if they've been living under a rock, if they don't already know about the Fantastic Four, tell them a little bit about how to follow you and how to tune in.
So you can follow us in 2 platforms. You could do Unlock the Middle, at Unlock the Middle, one word. And that's where we have 3 different shows. I support our Dean and Chris, who are the host of the show. I help them book out the show. We have someone coming in soon, joining us, part of the Office Hours, which is a 20-minute show on Tuesdays. And we try to resolve a quick and real problem that administrators or educators face. And then we have our Thursday show, which is the Red Zone. It's football oriented, but it's about scoring touchdown for kids. And the flagship show that we have, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays, is where we bring in authors, speakers, to make sure that, we promote their vision, because this is free PD for all of us. Mm-hmm. It's crucial that we don't have an excuse not to click Spotify, click YouTube, click Facebook, and you know what? You're going to get someone else's perspective from Maryland, from Texas, from South Carolina, from New Jersey, because we're all doing the same game. We're all educating the future of America. And if you will follow my humble social media sites, It's at NPA Go Jaguars on Twitter. That's where I put the majority of my stuff and connect with other educators. So come on and join us. It's important that I finish by saying this. If you're not on social media, you still rent your movies at Blockbuster. You still buy your pants at
I
Montgomery
wasn't
Ward.
ready.
So please put down your beta tape and your laser discs and get on social media, because that's where your customers live. And
Mhm.
Exactly.
who are your customers? Kids and parents. And who do you want to control your vision, and who do you want to control what happens at your school? Them
You.
or you? I
Right.
would say
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. I love it, and I follow you on everything. And you definitely highlight the fire in your building, all of the amazing, great work that you guys are doing. So thank you so much for joining the village. We're gonna put you behind the scenes, but don't log off, Josh. All right. Thank you so much. Fantastic Four.
Thank you.
Awesome. Listen, that was great stuff. All right. So, yep. So, Coach Williams, how was that?
It was amazing. You know, I wrote that down, especially the educational malpractice.
Exactly.
You know, I'm using that hashtag stolen. Yes, sir. When
You
y'all
got to
hear it
give
again,
Josh some credit now.
I shout them out.
All right, guys. So again, thanks for joining the village. Once again, we come on just to inspire and motivate and encourage our teacher leaders, our school leaders, because again, like Josh said, we're all doing this the same
Same
work.
word.
We're on fire for educators and for students. So we want to make sure that we come together, because together we're village strong. And remember to continue to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Village LG. And remember, teacher leadership is a mindset, not a position. See you next time.
Bye, y'all.
Josh, don't move.